earn more while I'm on my pension, while I'm a self-funded retiree? Why can't I earn more before I get taxed? Strongest indication so far from the Prime Minister that he is not going to relax that work test for the pension. Here's Scott Morrison.
The solution to our economic challenges is not to send retirees back, force them back into work. That's not my plan. I'm not looking to force pensioners or self-funded retirees back to work. What I'm seeking to do is ensure that in their retirement, that they've worked hard for, that they can have life a little bit easier through the sorts of things that I'm announcing right here today.
I think that's going to disappoint National Seniors Australia. They've been pushing for a relaxation of the work test. Ian Henschke is their chief advocate. Good afternoon, Ian.
Good afternoon, Raf. Yep, deeply disappointed would be the words that I would say there, and also deeply misrepresented as well, because we are not talking about forcing anyone to do anything. It's a total misrepresentation of what Let the Pensioners Work is about. It is about people that voluntarily want to do a bit of extra work and they don't want to be punished with a pension or work tax. We have people all over Australia. There's people, I met someone only the other day in Victoria who was working at a local supermarket, and once they work past the certain number of hours, they lose 50 cents in the dollar and they pay income tax. They are actually paying a higher rate of tax than a billionaire.
Although the constant refrain from the government, from the PM and the Treasurer, you get $300 before it kicks in. That's okay, isn't it?
$300 a fortnight, Raf. $300 a fortnight. That means you can work about 6 hours before they start to take the money off you. And look, let's just have a listen to this. I would love you to go and play Craig Lowndes, who was on ABC Radio last week.
The former MP, you mean?
Yeah, yep. Former federal minister for small business and family business, who said it's crazy, they need to fix it. Why would one of their own say it's a crazy system, they need to fix it? Why would he be saying that?
Well, mind you, they get a lot of internal criticism, Ian. But can I just, I want to play something else that the Prime Minister said. I've heard your strong advocacy on this radio station, on others. I've seen you on TV, I'm pretty sure, talking about this. The PM also said something about your idea today, basically saying he doesn't think the demand from pensioners is there. Have a listen.
When we've eased those things in the past, we haven't seen a very significant change in the amount of people taking on that choice, because when people get to retirement, they'd like to have their retirement.
Well, we just did a survey of National Seniors members who are pensioners, and 20% of them said that they would like to go back to work. And you know what their main reason was? 60% of them said they needed the money. Now, think about that. If you look at the people that are out there at the moment that are doing the work and want to work, they need the money. Only 1 in 4, you've got 1 in 4 pensioners don't own their own home, so they're paying rent. Rents have gone up. Everything's cost of living has gone up. And you've got a Prime Minister saying if someone voluntarily wants to go back to work and they want to have a go, he's not going to give them a go. He's having a go at their pension. He's going to penny pinch from their pension, and he's going to try and spread this idea that he doesn't want to force people back to work. We've never said to force people back to work. And if you looked across at New Zealand, you've got 44% of people between 65 and 70 still working. So what's the difference between Australia and New Zealand? Why have we got 3.9% of our 3% of our pensioners working? Because they get punished for working. If they do, they get punished unfairly. All we're saying is have the income test so that you tax people, you tax them with income tax, just like they do in New Zealand, just like they do in Canada. Have a fair go for people. And 30% of women, when they get to pension age, have no superannuation. Think about that. 30%, 1 in 3 women have no superannuation. They're the ones that work in aged care. They're the ones that work in healthcare. They're the ones that work in disability. Sure. They're the ones that want to go and do some work. And when they do, they lose 50 cents in the dollar. Then they pay income tax.
That's because they're on the pension.
And then eventually they lose their pension completely, and they lose their concession card completely. Now, is that fair? I tell you, you ask your listeners, is that fair?
I'm always happy to hear from them, Ian, on 1300 222 774. But I do want to ask you about their other announcement today. It's going to be backed by Labor. Basically, that that huge benefit you get from the seniors card, it's going to be raised from a $90,000 income to $144,000. Sorry, raised to $90,000 and then $144,000 for couples. That's pretty significant. You must be happy with that.
Yeah, well, that's great. But we've got a whole spectrum of people that we represent in National Seniors, and the group that I'm arguing for are the people that need to work and they want to work. That group at the other end, the one that he says, oh, you go and enjoy your retirement, you know, they're all going to get their $250 that he's going to send out, the $250 that's going to arrive.
That's the pension payment, from the budget.
Because they Commonwealth Seniors Health Card people get that. They're going to get the benefit of that. And I spoke to Noel Whittaker about this morning, who's a retirement expert, and he said that at the present system, the way they've got it, there will be people with a couple of $1 million in super that will get that Commonwealth Seniors card. I'm saying to the Prime Minister, look at those people who are struggling, the 1 in 4 Australians on the pension that live in pension poverty, the 500,000 pensioners that only have the pension as their only source of income, and give them a fair go. Give them a fair go. And I say to Labor, you need to do it as well. And I say to the Greens, you need to have this policy as well. Because we know in Australia that we've got pension poverty at twice the rate of New Zealand, twice the rate of Canada. And both of those other countries allow people to work and simply pay income tax when they work. We've got 423,000 people vacancies in Australia, up 7% since last November when it was 395,000. You've got job ads all over the place, and you've got a Prime Minister saying, I'm not going to force anyone back to work. We are not even talking about forcing people back to work. No. We're talking about giving them the choice. This is the Prime Minister that said, I want people to have a go.
Yeah, you made that point, Ian. I get it. I got it. I appreciate your strong advocacy, Ian, and I appreciate you joining us as well.
Thank you very much, Raf, and I appreciate you giving me a go to have a go, okay?
Ian Henschke's Chief Advocate with National Seniors Australia. Someone texting, I have 3 pensioners who came back to work as casuals. That's all about allowing less taxation and keeping the pension as you go through. Sue is in the city. What do you want to mention, Sue?
Look, I cannot agree more with the guy from Seniors. I mean, I've been saying this for years. There's nothing wrong with my body. I'm on the age pension. But there's nothing wrong with my mind. The body might be weak, but I can easily do, work, but not if I'm going to lose my pension. The sort of work I used to do in production management, I can get $400 or $500 a day. Now, if I do one day's work, even if it was available in my field, then I lose the entirety of my age pension. And I've been saying, let pensioners, or including people on unemployment benefits, and this is the very important thing as well, they should be allowed to work up to the minimum wage.
We'll see if they don't. I tell you what I don't understand. Ian Henschke's a pretty powerful advocate. He's not getting much joy from either side of politics. He's not someone who doesn't have access to the corridors of power. It's interesting. Some of your texts, Raf, I'm 75, went back to work because I could not afford to retire. I've not received a pension for 5 years. More, going back to work put meaning back in my life. That's from David, you're in Brighton. Someone texting as Ian was talking, yes to all of this. My dad's on a half pension. He'd love to be able to pick up a bit of work here and there, but he can't because of the penalty imposed on pensioners. It's absurd. Liz in Ballarat saying, I'm getting the impression some are wanting the pension plus a decent wage along with it. Can't have it always. That's from Liz in Ballarat. That's part of it, Liz. I think they just want, they want different tax treatment. Let me leave it at that value neutral label. And Lydia in Geelong, Raf, I've got no intention of retiring at 65. My house won't be paid until I'm 65 because I've knocked 5 years off. Super, not worth mentioning. After the news, the Premier Dan Andrews will join you.